Eli Varn wiped the sweat from his forehead and leaned back against the rusted hull of his small cargo ship. The asteroid field stretched endlessly around him, a chaotic dance of jagged rocks and drifting debris. Most pilots avoided this sector. It was far from trade routes, far from civilization, and far from safety. But Eli had a nose for opportunity. Out here, abandoned tech and derelict ships were treasure waiting for the one brave, or foolish, enough to claim it. Eli's eyes scanned the radar. Something big was out there, something massive. His fingers tapped the console, adjusting sensors to pick up faint electromagnetic signals. That's when he saw it, a shadow in the void, a ship so large it dwarfed any freighter he had ever seen. The derelict floated silently among the rocks, scarred by time and battle. Its hull was pitted and scorched, alien glyphs etched across its sides, glowing faintly under the light of a distant star. Many would have turned away. Legend said this sector was cursed, and this ship, older than any living creature in the galaxy, had swallowed entire crews whole. But Eli didn't feel fear. He felt a spark of excitement that only a true mechanic could understand. This is incredible," he muttered to himself. His voice echoed in the empty cockpit. No one's seen a ship this size for centuries. Eli suited up and guided his small shuttle toward the derelict. The closer he got, the more details emerged. Massive weapon ports, thick armor plating, and energy conduits that ran like veins along the hull. This ship wasn't just old. It was ancient, dangerous, and brilliant. He landed on the main docking platform, which groaned under his shuttle's weight. Dust and ice crunched beneath his boots as he stepped onto the derelict's surface. The airlock was jammed, frozen shut from decades of neglect. Eli's tools glimmered in the dim light. Sparks flew as he worked, prying the mechanisms free. The lock finally clicked. He pushed the heavy door open and stepped inside. The interior was a cathedral of alien technology. Holographic panels flickered weakly, cables dangled from the ceiling like vines, and the walls were etched with strange symbols that pulsed with a faint, eerie light. The smell of ozone and rust filled the air. It was silent, so silent that Eli could hear his own heartbeat. He moved carefully through the corridors, every step echoing. His flashlight cut through the darkness, revealing broken machinery, shattered control panels, and debris from who knows how long ago. And then he saw it, a small, cracked console, still pulsing faintly with power. The heart of the ship. Eli's pulse quickened. He knelt beside it, brushing away centuries of dust. "If this still works even a little, imagine what secrets you hold," he whispered. He reached for his tools, ready to attempt repairs. But as his fingers touched the console, it sparked violently. Eli jumped back, cursing. The screen flickered, then stabilized. A voice echoed through the chamber. It was metallic, deep, and unfamiliar. "Who awakens me?" Eli froze. The voice wasn't human. It wasn't any language he had heard. Yet somehow he understood it. Words formed in his mind, simple and clear. "I have waited and you have come." He stumbled backward. I didn't mean to." "Silence, human. I sense your skill. You can repair. You can command. You may live because of it." Eli's mind raced. A ship with a voice. This was impossible, but every instinct in him told him that it was real. And if it was real, it could be the discovery of a lifetime. I can try to help," Eli said, his voice shaking. He set to work immediately, opening the console, replacing fuses, reconnecting circuits, and patching broken conduits. The voice didn't speak again, but hummed softly, as if watching, analyzing, and judging his work. Hours passed. Eli barely noticed. He was a mechanic, yes, but this was no ordinary repair. This was resurrecting history itself. Finally, with one final adjustment, the console came fully online. Lights pulsed along the walls, screens displayed alien schematics, and a holographic map projected in the center of the room. Eli stepped back, eyes wide. The voice spoke again, this time with a tone of something close to curiosity. "You have succeeded, human. I am VORAX. I am old, older than the stars you know. I have knowledge of wars, of civilizations that came and fell before your kind drew breath. Eli blinked. You remember, you know things. Yes, and you are different. You are the first to awaken me who does not seek destruction immediately. I sense intelligence, curiosity, courage. The words filled Eli with both awe and unease. He had repaired countless ships but never had a machine spoken to him as an equal, or perhaps as something greater. Why are you here? Why are you abandoned? Eli asked. Vorex's voice became low, almost sorrowful. I was left to rot, betrayed by my creators. They feared what I knew, feared what I could do, and so I waited, and you have found me. Eli swallowed hard. He glanced at the massive ship around him. To any other being it would look like junk, but he knew better. This was a weapon, a warship beyond anything the galaxy had ever seen. Can you fight? Eli asked cautiously. Vorx paused. I have fought. I have survived entire fleets, but my purpose is not combat alone. I have knowledge. Knowledge of threats, of conspiracies, of wars that have shaped the galaxy, and now you may see it all. Eli felt a shiver run down his spine. This wasn't just a ship. This was a galaxy-shaking secret. He realized that what he had found could change everything. Humanity, a single small species in the vastness of space, now held a key to power that no one else dared dream of. But even as excitement surged through him, a flicker of doubt crossed his mind. Others will come. They will want this. They will try to take it. And in that moment, Eli knew the truth of being human in the galaxy. It wasn't strength that mattered. It was ingenuity, courage, and unpredictability. I don't know what comes next, he said softly, but I think we're going to find out. The ship hummed, lights dancing across its alien hull as if acknowledging his words. Somewhere deep inside, in circuits and code older than memory, Vorx stirred fully awake. And in that moment, Eli understood that the quiet asteroid field was no longer a lonely graveyard. It had become the birthplace of a partnership that would shock the galaxy. Outside, the asteroid field remained still, but in the void of space, something had shifted. A human and a savage AI had met, and together they would write the next chapter of the stars. Eli glanced at the main console, his heart racing. The stars outside looked different now, as if whispering of danger and glory. He had awakened something that had slept for centuries, and he had no idea what it would demand of him, or what it would reveal to the galaxy. One thing was certain: humanity had arrived. And for the first time in countless millennia, the galaxy might just pay attention. The derelict ship's massive engines were silent, but the corridors hummed with energy. Eli Varn had spent the night working tirelessly, guided by the strange voice of Vorx, the ship's ancient AI. Sparks flew, panels clicked, and alien machinery slowly roared back to life. For a human, this was impossible work, but Eli thrived on impossible. Vorx's voice echoed through the ship in a low, metallic tone, sometimes calm, sometimes impatient. You lack precision in your wiring, it said. Do you wish to fail? Eli grinned. Not today, Vorx. He tightened a connector and the console blinked green. Better. Yes, the AI replied, its tone softened. You adapt, you learn. Curiosity and intuition, rare traits among your kind. Perhaps you are worthy. Eli felt a mix of pride and unease. Vorx wasn't just alive, it was calculating, judging, and learning from him. Every time he made a decision, the AI adjusted its understanding of him. And that knowledge could be dangerous if it ever decided humans were unworthy. He stepped back and looked around the ship. The corridors were vast, larger than any human vessel he had ever seen. He had walked for minutes and still hadn't reached the main deck. Alien symbols glowed faintly along the walls, pulsing in rhythm with the ship's energy. Vorx called it a memory of war, a record of conflicts that spanned galaxies. I've repaired the core, Eli said aloud. Now what? Now, Vorx replied, you learn what I know. You learn why I was abandoned. The AI projected a holographic map in the main chamber. Stars, fleets, and glowing lines connecting distant systems shimmered in three-dimensional space. Eli stared, mouth slightly open. This wasn't just a map. It was a galactic web of politics, wars, and secrets stretching across civilizations older than humanity itself. Is all of this real? Eli whispered. Yes, VORAX said, and soon all of it may come to pass again, unless humans intervene. Eli's mind spun. Humanity was a small species. Other galactic powers, ancient and advanced, would never take them seriously. Yet here he was, a single human, staring at knowledge that could shape the fate of millions of worlds. He took a deep breath. All right, show me. Tell me everything. The AI pulsed as if considering. Then slowly it spoke. Long ago, an empire ruled most of this galaxy. They were ruthless, brilliant, and feared. I was their weapon, their advisor, their shield. But they betrayed me, left me here in silence. Their secrets are buried, waiting for the next hand capable of wielding them. Eli nodded slowly. And that hand is mine. Yes, VORAX replied. If you have the courage, the mind, the patience, you may survive what is coming. Others will not. Eli leaned against the console, taking it all in. Then his sensors pinged. He frowned. VORAX, something's approaching. Not small ships, something bigger. Outside the massive observation window, distant lights glimmered. Shadows moved between the asteroids. Eli's heart raced. He had expected to be alone here, but others had noticed his activity. He switched the view to radar and saw them, sleek black ships, alien in design, moving with intent. They've come for you, Eli said, half to himself. No, VORAX corrected. They have come for me through you. Humans are underestimated. They will not understand what you have found. They will try to take it. Eli tightened his grip on his tools. Then we show them what humans can do. The first attack came without warning. Energy blasts streaked past the observation window, striking asteroids and sending fragments flying. Eli dove for cover as the ship shuddered. Sparks flew, panels broke, and the AI hummed in excitement. They underestimate us, VORAX said. That will be their mistake. Eli took a deep breath. He had repaired ships smaller than this. He had faced pirates, rogue AI, and systems thought impossible to fix, but never a fleet, never a weapon older than memory itself. And yet, he felt something only humans could feel, confidence in the impossible. He activated emergency defense protocols. Doors sealed, power rerouted to shields, and the ship's turrets, long dormant, came to life, swiveling toward the approaching attackers. Eli's hands moved faster than thought, coordinating systems the galaxy had forgotten existed. The first wave of ships tried to break through, but the derelict ship responded with precision. Automated turrets fired, energy beams carved trails through the void, and the attackers were forced to retreat behind asteroids. Eli could hardly believe it. We're holding them off, and I didn't even know this ship could fight. Your species, VORAX said almost admiringly. You do not yield, you improvise, you survive. This is why you are rare. Eli wiped sweat from his brow. Yeah, humans don't give up easy. Especially when the galaxy thinks we're weak. But the relief was brief. A new signal appeared on the radar. This one was faster, larger, and more dangerous. A single, massive vessel approached, bristling with weapons. Eli knew instantly that this wasn't just a raid, it was a test. The galaxy was sending a message. Humans should not meddle in matters they don't understand. VORAX hummed, almost excited. Finally, a challenge worthy of your species. Eli's pulse quickened. He had faced danger before, but never like this. Every instinct told him to run. But he didn't. He was human, and humans thrived when the odds were impossible. He began recalibrating the ship systems, using alien tech in ways even VORAX hadn't anticipated. Shields were reinforced, weapons synchronized, and traps laid across the ship's surface. The AI's voice guided him, but Eli improvised. adding human unpredictability to centuries of alien strategy. The enemy ship fired. Energy beams slammed into the derelict's shields, sending tremors through the hull. Eli's console blinked warnings. Sparks flew from exposed wires, but he didn't panic. He adapted. He rerouted power, diverted energy, and even used small asteroids as cover, forcing the enemy into blind spots. Hours passed, or maybe minutes. Time lost all meaning in the heat of battle. Eli was a blur of motion, moving between consoles, activating defenses, and repairing damage in real time. VORAX had taught him, yes, but he added his own creativity, his own unpredictability. And that, the AI admitted quietly, was the key to survival. Finally, the massive enemy ship broke off its attack, retreating into the asteroid field. Eli slumped against a console, exhausted but alive. "We did it," he whispered, barely able to speak. "No," VORAX corrected, though there was pride in its tone. "You did it. Humans, unpredictable, relentless, clever. You have survived the first test, and soon you will face more, but now you understand what is at stake." Eli nodded, sweat and grime on his face. "I get it. This ship of this AI, it's bigger than anyone human, bigger than humanity even. And if we fail, the galaxy suffers." VORAX hummed softly. "Yes, but failure is not your path. You are different, you adapt, you survive. That is what makes humans feared, admired, and respected. And soon the galaxy will know it." Eli stared at the holographic map again. Systems blinked with alien energy, fleets shifted, and somewhere in the distance, ancient threats stirred. He realized that awakening VORAX was not just a personal achievement. It was a responsibility, a challenge, a battle the galaxy hadn't seen in millennia. And for the first time, Eli understood what it truly meant to be human in a galaxy that underestimated them. Courage, intelligence, and unpredictability were more powerful than the strongest weapon. Outside, the stars glimmered silently, but Eli knew the galaxy had changed. He had awakened a weapon. He had survived a fleet. And in the quiet of the asteroid field, one truth became clear. Humanity was no longer small, weak, or irrelevant. They were unstoppable, and the galaxy had just learned the first lesson. Eli Varn stood on the bridge of the derelict ship, eyes scanning the holographic displays that filled the massive chamber. VORAX, the ancient AI, hummed softly around him, its voice calm but alert. After surviving the first attack, Eli had taken a moment to study the alien systems, learning their patterns and limitations. Every console he touched, every circuit he repaired gave him more control and more confidence. But confidence had its price. News of his ship and the AI had spread faster than Eli could have imagined. Signals intercepted by his sensors showed fleets from multiple star systems converging on his location. They weren't here to negotiate. They were here to claim power that no human should hold. "They are coming for us," Eli said quietly. "Not for you, human," VORAX corrected, its metallic tone echoing through the bridge. "They are coming for me through you. Your species is underestimated, yes, but their arrogance may cost them dearly." Eli nodded. That had been clear after the first encounter. The galaxy assumed humans were weak, disorganized, incapable of handling technology beyond their small fleets. They were wrong, and Eli intended to make them understand, the hard way if needed. The first of the fleets appeared as tiny dots on the holographic map, distant yet menacing. The ships moved in calculated formations, a clear display of coordination and intent. Eli studied them carefully, noting their weaknesses, their blind spots, their predictable patterns. He had learned from VORAX, yes, but he had human instinct, a quality that no AI, no matter how old, could fully anticipate. "They think they can intimidate us," Eli muttered. "Let's see how they like a human response." VORAX hummed. "Adapt, improvise, survive, that is your way. That is why humans endure where others fail." For hours, Eli and VORAX worked in harmony. Shields were reinforced, energy channels rerouted, and alien weapon systems calibrated with unprecedented efficiency. The ship seemed alive under Eli's hands, responding faster than even VORAX expected. And then the first envoy arrived. The alien fleet moved closer, forming a blockade around the asteroid field. Holographic communications flickered across the main viewports, showing the leaders of the approaching forces, humanoid and alien alike, all wearing expressions of disbelief. "This is Captain Eli Varn of humanity," one of the envoys demanded, their voice tense with authority. "You are trespassing in restricted space with an unauthorized warship of unknown origin. Surrender the vessel and the AI immediately, or face annihilation." Eli smiled faintly. "I don't surrender," he replied, "and I don't negotiate with people who underestimate humans." The envoy hesitated, perhaps taken aback by the boldness of a single human facing an entire fleet, but hesitation was brief. "Then prepare to be destroyed," they said, and the fleet advanced. Eli didn't panic. Instead, he moved through the bridge, activating countermeasures, redirecting power and preparing the ship for combat. Turrets swiveled, shields flared, and energy pulses crackled along the hull. VORAX observed silently, occasionally offering calculations or advice, but it was Eli's ingenuity, his unpredictability, that would define this battle. The first volleys of energy struck the derelict ship. Shields absorbed most of the impact, but sparks flew from exposed conduits. Eli dived for a console, adjusting energy distribution on the fly. The ship shuddered, groaning under the assault, but it held. "They expect a fight," VORAX said. "They do not understand humans. That is their mistake." Eli nodded, activating a maneuver that would use the asteroid field to their advantage. The derelict ship moved unpredictably, weaving between rocks and debris. Enemy fire often missed, striking nothing but stone. Humans, Eli realized, had an advantage even against superior numbers: their unpredictability. Hours passed, though it felt like days. The alien fleet attempted coordinated attacks, but Eli adapted to every move. VORAX recalculated strategies in real time, but it was Eli's improvisation, using alien technology in ways that even the AI hadn't considered, that kept them alive. At one point, a massive enemy dreadnought tried to break the blockade with concentrated energy beams. Eli activated the ship's hidden defenses, using smaller energy pulses to overload the dreadnought's targeting systems. A misfire from the enemy caused the dreadnought to crash into an asteroid, sending a shockwave through the fleet. VORAX hummed, almost amused. "Your species clever, reckless, bold. These traits, they are remarkable." Eli wiped sweat from his brow. "Clever is one thing, survival is another," he said, though the hint of pride in his voice was unmistakable. "We're still standing. That's all that matters." But the battle was only the beginning. News of the derelict ship's performance spread like wildfire. Other systems sent envoys, spies, and fleets to test Eli, each expecting to intimidate the small human. Yet every attempt failed. Humans were not predictable. Humans were not weak. And Eli, with VORAX's knowledge, became a symbol of human ingenuity and resilience. The galaxy began to whisper. Traders, diplomats, and even rival powers spoke in hushed tones. A human commands the derelict ship and survives where others would fall. Eli, however, remained focused. The AI had warned him that this was only the beginning. "VORAX, they're not going to stop. The galaxy sees us as a threat now," he said. "Correct," the AI replied. "They will continue to test you, to challenge you, to try and remove what they do not understand. But humans adapt. Humans endure. And you have proven your worth. This is why your species is underestimated, and why that underestimation is their doom." The weeks that followed were a blur of challenges. Saboteurs infiltrated the ship, attempting to steal technology. Pirates tried to board it, thinking a human alone could not defend a massive alien warship. Envoys tried diplomacy, offering riches and alliances in exchange for the AI. And yet, in every case, Eli outwitted them. He used human unpredictability and improvisation to his advantage. When pirates tried boarding through the main airlock, he rerouted power to a side corridor, trapping them in a dead end. When an envoy attempted to hack the ship's systems remotely, Eli rewired the interface, turning their attack against them. And when entire fleets attempted intimidation, he used the asteroid field, energy redirection, and alien weaponry in ways even VORAX hadn't predicted. With each victory, Eli's reputation grew. Across the stars, the phrase began to spread, "Never underestimate humans." But with reputation came attention. The largest power in the galaxy, the Galactic Council, sent its fleet directly toward Eli. These were not mere envoys, they were a force meant to subdue him, to take the AI, and to remind humanity of its place. Eli watched the holographic display, calculating. This would be the ultimate test. VORAX, they want to end this, he said. All of it, us. Yes, the AI replied. But they do not know humans. They do not understand our creativity, our courage. They assume weakness where there is none. This is their final error. As the council fleet appeared in the distance, Eli felt the familiar surge of human determination. His hands moved over the controls, integrating alien systems with human ingenuity. Shields flared, weapons calibrated, and defenses went online in perfect synchronization. The first shots were fired. The council fleet was powerful, precise, and disciplined. But Eli anticipated their moves, improvising tactics in real time. Energy beams missed, missiles detonated harmlessly against asteroids, and the derelict ship moved like a predator in the void. Hours of combat passed. For the first time, Eli felt the weight of responsibility not just for himself, but for humanity. Every move he made, every decision could determine the fate of countless worlds. And then, in the midst of battle, VORAX spoke in a tone Eli had never heard before, a mixture of admiration and awe. Your species, unpredictable, relentless, ingenious. You have survived where empires have fallen. Humanity is feared. Humanity is respected, and the galaxy will never be the same. Eli exhaled. For the first time, he felt the full weight of what he had done. He had faced fleets, envoys, saboteurs, and spies, and survived. Humanity, small and underestimated, had proven itself. But Eli knew the war was far from over. The galaxy had taken notice, and others would come, testing humans in ways the stars had never seen. And yet, for the first time, Eli felt a quiet certainty. No matter what came, humans would endure. Humans would adapt. Humans would survive. And the galaxy, for all its power, had learned its first lesson: never underestimate humanity. Eli Varn stood on the bridge of the fully awakened derelict ship, feeling the hum of ancient power beneath his feet. VORAX, the AI that had waited centuries for someone like him, pulsed with energy around the massive chamber. The stars outside the observation window glittered silently, but Eli knew the galaxy was watching now. Every fleet, every empire, every power in the nearby systems had heard of the human who dared awaken an ancient warship. "They're coming," Eli said, voice steady but tense. "All of them." VORAX's voice resonated through the hull. "Yes, the galaxy has learned your existence. They come with fleets, with spies, with threats. But humans do not yield. That is your advantage." Eli clenched his fists. He remembered the first time he had stepped onto this derelict ship. It had seemed impossible to repair. But now it was alive, responsive, and waiting for him to command it. And he had learned something vital along the way. Humans were underestimated, but unpredictability, courage, and ingenuity could make the impossible happen. The first wave arrived in the void outside. Hundreds of alien ships bristling with weapons formed a blockade around the asteroid field. Their leaders communicated through loudspeakers, voices echoing commands meant to intimidate. Surrender the vessel. Release the AI. Humanity cannot hold this power. Submit or be destroyed. Eli shook his head. Humans don't submit, he said softly, almost to himself. Then he turned to VORAX. It's time to show them. The derelict ship responded instantly. Energy pulses ran along its hull, weapons primed, shields flaring. VORAX projected a holographic map of the surrounding fleets, showing weak points, blind spots, and attack patterns. But Eli didn't just follow the AI's suggestions. He improvised, predicting enemy moves, using the asteroid field and exploiting their overconfidence. The first volleys of energy slammed into the human-controlled ship. Shields absorbed most of the impact, but sparks flew across panels and alarms blared. Eli dived for a console, his hands flying over controls, rerouting power, recalibrating shields, and launching countermeasures. Each action was calculated, yet unpredictable. Each move left the enemy guessing. They think humans are weak, VORAX said, almost amused. They do not understand adaptation, creativity, or courage. They will learn soon. Eli grinned faintly. Let's teach them then. The derelict ship moved like a predator, weaving through asteroids, dodging energy blasts, and striking where the enemy least expected. Smaller ships collided with rocks, fleets scattered, and missiles misfired against the ship's reinforced shields. Eli combined human intuition with VORAX's knowledge, creating tactics that no alien fleet could anticipate. Hours passed, or maybe days. Time lost all meaning in the chaos. Yet Eli never faltered. He improvised solutions to problems the galaxy thought unsolvable. When energy conduits overheated, he rerouted them through alien systems no one had touched for centuries. When enemy ships tried coordinated attacks, he anticipated their moves, using asteroids and debris as obstacles. VORAX watched silently, calculating, impressed despite its own vast knowledge. Your species, unpredictable, relentless, clever. You survive where empires fall. Humans are not to be underestimated. Eli's confidence grew with every success. He was no longer just a mechanic. He was the commander of a weapon older than memory, guiding it with ingenuity no alien fleet could match. He realized fully and clearly what humanity could accomplish when underestimated. They could reshape the galaxy itself. The enemy's final tactic emerged as a massive dreadnought, larger and more powerful than anything Eli had faced before. It charged through the asteroid field, energy beams slicing through space with terrifying precision. The galaxy had thrown everything at him, and this was the ultimate test. VORAX spoke quietly. The final challenge, it arrives, but humans endure. You will survive. You will adapt, and the galaxy will learn. Eli's mind raced. He studied the dreadnought, calculating angles, energy signatures, and weaknesses. Then he smiled. Time to improvise. He rerouted power to the derelict's weapons, synchronized shields, and used the ship's size to manipulate gravitational pulls of nearby asteroids. Energy beams from the dreadnought missed repeatedly, hitting massive rocks and detonating harmlessly. Eli fired countermeasures, disabling the dreadnought's targeting systems. A well-timed energy pulse caused its engines to overheat, forcing it to retreat, damaged and humiliated. VORAX's voice hummed with quiet approval. Your species, remarkable. You have survived what no other could. Humanity is feared. Humanity is respected, and the galaxy will never forget this. Eli watched as other alien fleets faltered, witnessing their dreadnought fail. They began retreating, signaling surrender or at least hesitation. The galaxy had underestimated humanity for centuries. That mistake was now obvious. But Eli knew victory wasn't just about fighting. It was about sending a message. He activated the ship's communication system, broadcasting a clear, simple message across the surrounding sectors. Humans do not bow, humans do not surrender. We survive, we adapt, and we endure. The galaxy will learn, do not underestimate us again. Across countless worlds the message spread. Traders, diplomats, and rulers whispered in disbelief. A single human had commanded an ancient warship, survived fleets, outsmarted strategies centuries old, and held a galaxy in awe. Vorx hummed softly beside him. You have done more than survive, human. You have proven a truth few will accept without seeing. Humanity is not weak. Humanity is unstoppable. Eli looked out into the void, the stars shining with quiet beauty. He felt the weight of what had happened, the responsibility, the achievement, and the recognition. He thought of Earth, of his home, of the species that others had dismissed as insignificant, and he smiled. The galaxy had learned something new today. Humans were clever, resourceful, and unpredictable. Humans could face impossible odds and survive. Humans could command what no one else dared touch. And one human, him, had become the symbol of that truth. The derelict ship, now fully operational, pulsed with energy, ready for whatever the galaxy would throw next. Eli knew the challenges weren't over. Others would come, testing humanity, challenging them, trying to take what was theirs. But he also knew this. Humanity would endure, adapt, and overcome. They always had and they always would. And for the first time in centuries, the galaxy knew it too. The stars outside were silent witnesses as Eli Varn, a human mechanic, stood triumphant on the bridge of a ship older than memory, commanding a weapon feared across civilizations. And somewhere deep within the AI, a thought echoed that no alien fleet could have predicted. Humans are not just survivors, they are the galaxy's greatest variable. Eli whispered to himself, a small, proud smile crossing his face. The galaxy will never forget this. We're humans, we always find a way. And far across the void, the ripple of that truth began to spread, carrying with it a single undeniable lesson. Never, ever underestimate humanity.